1.6 Debt repayment relationship, paying back debts from past lives. Background: Mr. Chen is a successful entrepreneur, while his wife, Mrs. Lee, does not work and spends money excessively. Since their marriage, Mrs. Lee has indulged in buying luxury items, showing little concern for the family's finances. At times, she even conceals the amounts she spends. Though Mr. Chen feels the pressure, he never blames his wife and works hard to meet her needs. Friends often advise him, "You work so hard, and she only knows how to spend. Is this marriage worth it?" But Mr. Chen always responds, "I don't know why, but whatever she wants, I'm willing to give." Discovering past life karma. During a conversation about marriage with a Buddhist friend, the friend suggested that this might be a continuation of past life karma and encouraged Mr. Chen to explore the cause through spiritual practice. In a meditation session, Mr. Chen saw a vision. In a past life, Mrs. Lee was a wealthy merchant, was a poor man. Ill and desperate, he borrowed money from her to treat his illness, promising to repay it. However, a natural disaster struck his family, making repayment impossible. On his deathbed, he tearfully vowed, "If there's a next life, I'll repay this debt." In this life, the roles reversed. Mrs. Lee became his wife, and through marriage, he is repaying the karmic debt. Practical applications of debt repayment in marriage. 1. Acceptance and letting go. After this realization, Mr. Chen no longer harbored resentment towards his wife's spending habits, understanding it as the inevitable result of karmic cause and effect. He chose to face it calmly. 2. Guiding spending habits. While repaying karmic debt, Mr. Chen maintained principles. Through mindful communication, he suggested Mrs. Lee learn financial management and gradually develop healthier spending habits. He continued to support her financially while guiding her to understand gratitude and moderation. 3. Balancing karma and practice. Through spiritual practice, Mr. Chen viewed the challenges in his marriage as opportunities to cultivate compassion and patience. He also introduced Mrs. Lee to Buddhism, helping her improve her character and sow good karmic seeds together. Transformational results. Over time, Mrs. Lee began recognizing the financial strain her behavior caused the family. She started planning her expenses and became more involved in family matters, improving their relationship. Ultimately, they not only resolved their karmic debt but also cultivated positive karma in this life. Significance and insights. The meaning of debt repayment in marriage. Marriage bonds remind us that every relationship may have profound karmic roots. Facing and resolving them positively can settle past debts and build blessings in this life. Wisdom and repayment. Repayment is not about blind endurance but using wisdom to guide the other person towards healthier behaviors, fostering mutual growth. Transforming karma. Moving from unilateral debt repayment to mutual spiritual practice is the ideal outcome of debt repayment bonds. Conclusion. Debt repayment in marriage teaches us to approach relationships with an understanding of karma, compassionately resolve grievances, and create a harmonious and fulfilling family life. 1.7 Debt collection relationship. When the other party owes Yao background, Ms. Lin and Mr. Zhao's marriage has always been filled with happiness. Mr. Zhao takes meticulous care of Ms. Lin, making her the envy of their friends as the spoiled wife. Ms. Lin often remarks, "No matter what I do, he never gets upset. He treats me incredibly well." However, Ms. Lin also noticed that Mr. Zhao had no limits in their relationship. He always took responsibility and never complained, even when Ms. Lin was occasionally capricious. Once, when Ms. Lin casually mentioned wanting to travel to Europe, Mr. Zhao immediately started working overtime to save for the trip. Whether in life or love, Mr. Zhao's care and tolerance exceeded the norm. Discovering past life karma. Through a friend's recommendation, Ms. Lin encountered Buddhism. In a discussion about karma, she realized her marriage might be more than just love. It could be a continuation of karmic bonds. After consulting a senior practitioner, she meditated to explore their past life connection. In her meditation, Ms. Lin saw a past life. She was a kind farmer, and Mr. Zhao was a destitute beggar. In that life, she took him in, used her meager savings to treat his illness, and shared her food to help him through tough times. Before parting, Mr. Zhao vowed to repay her kindness in the next life. Practical applications of debt collection relationship in marriage. 1. Mr. Zhao's actions, his unconditional love and tolerance reflect his fulfillment of a past life promise. Subconsciously, he repays his karmic debt with unwavering affection, regardless of Ms. Lin's behavior. 2. Ms. Lin's awakening. Upon understanding their karmic bond, Ms. Lin began reflecting on her actions. She realized Mr. Zhao's love and tolerance were not to be taken for granted but were repayments of a profound karmic debt. With gratitude, she adjusted her mindset. 3. Opportunities for joint spiritual practice. Ms. Lin proposed that they study Buddhism together and apply spiritual wisdom to nurture their marriage. They began building a more balanced relationship, where Mr. Zhao remained caring, but Ms. Lin learned to reciprocate with understanding and support. Transformational results. Ms. Lin transformed from a taker to a giver, becoming more involved in family matters and sharing responsibilities with Mr. Zhao. Their marriage evolved from one-sided giving to a balanced, loving partnership. Significance and insights. Repayment bonds lessons. Many seemingly ideal relationships may be rooted in karmic gratitude. Recognizing and cherishing such bonds can make them even more fulfilling. A grateful mindset. The other party's repayment is not something we deserve but a continuation of karma. Accept love with gratitude and reciprocate with kindness to sow new seeds of goodness. Transforming kindness into growth. By expressing gratitude and working together, the relationship evolves from repaying karma to mutual growth. Conclusion. Repayment bonds in marriage remind us to cherish and nurture the blessings hidden in our relationships. With gratitude and compassion, we can transform karmic repayment into a path of mutual growth and spiritual progress. 2. 5 Core Buddhist Wisdoms for Marriage. 2.1 Mindful Communication. Many marital conflicts stem from poor communication. Mindfulness helps couples express their needs and feelings more clearly. Practical tips. Set uninterrupted time weekly to focus on listening to each other. Use "I feel" instead of "you always" to discuss issues. 2.2 Selflessness. Let go of the attachment to who's right or wrong. Embrace acceptance and tolerance for imperfections. 2.3 Practicing compassion. Support your partner during hardships and approach their shortcomings with compassion. 2.4 Contentment brings joy. The foundation of marital happiness is contentment. Avoid comparisons and rediscover the joy in simplicity. 2.5 Middle way wisdom. Avoid extremes in marital life. Balance family and career, as well as the needs of extended family in your immediate household. 3. Case study. Resolving Cold War conflicts with Buddhist wisdom. A couple married for 7 years had frequent arguments over trivial matters, leading to long periods of silence. The wife felt her husband was unthoughtful, while the husband saw her as overly critical. Resolution process. 1. Identifying the problem. Through Buddhist teachings, they realized the root of their issues lay in attachments and a lack of communication. 2. Mindful communication. They began holding weekly feeling-sharing sessions, actively listening without judgment. Wife: I hope you can chat with me after work. It makes me feel valued. Husband: I used to think you were complaining. Now I see it's your need for connection. 3. Practicing compassion. The husband started sharing housework, and the wife used gentler tones to express her needs. 4. Contentment and gratitude. They began noting each other's daily positive actions, reigniting appreciation for one another. Outcome: their relationship improved significantly. Cold wars ceased, and they developed deeper mutual understanding and affection. Case significance: marital conflict is not an endpoint. Through Buddhist wisdom, couples can transform discord into opportunities for growth and rebuild intimacy. 4. Summary and outlook. Buddhist teachings on karma and practice. Marriage is a profound platform for spiritual growth. This chapter overview explored Buddhist applications in marriage. Upcoming chapters will delve into specific issues such as in-law relationships and third-party interference, providing practical guidance for real-life challenges. Engagement. Share your marriage stories or questions in the comments. Selected ones will be addressed in the next chapter.